Hello and welcome to Tartan Talk. I'm Kate O'Brien, not your usual host of the podcast. I'm the STEM teacher and technology innovation specialist here at Stuart for the lower school. I'm super excited to share with you the podcast project our fourth graders have been working on in STEM class. They have been focused on the topic of sustainability at Stuart. And while taking investigative journalism into their own hands isn't exactly an easy feat, they've done a phenomenal job representing different stories from our community. I hope you enjoy listening as much as they enjoyed recording. Our first story is about Stuart's roots. The fourth graders set out to understand more about the history of Stuart's physical campus and architecture.
Welcome to our podcast. I'm Samira, the director.
I'm Leah, the co-director.
I'm Anna, the sound engineer and post-producer.
And I'm Violet, the scriptwriter. We're all fourth graders at Stuart Country Day School.
Together, we're presenting our process of Stuart's background.
The question we're investigating together is, how does Stuart connect to nature?
Our guest today will help us answer this question.
Can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. My name is Andres Duque. At the school they call me Mr. Duque. I teach art and coach tennis, and I'm the director of the gallery. We have different exhibits throughout the year.
How do you think Stuart connects to nature?
Well, Stuart was designed by Jean Labatut. He was a French architect who came to America in 1927, and he was hired to design the Havana, Cuba, and then by Princeton University to be a teacher. In 1963, he came to Stuart and was hired to do the design of the school and the connection with nature. He used to work in France, creating buildings. He used camouflage, so the airplanes couldn't send the bombs to the buildings during the war. So in a way, that's what we have in Stuart, because he used the colors of the forest and we are kind of blending with the landscape.
Was Stuart's campus designed with that connection in mind?
I think so. I think they wanted to have a beautiful landscape with the green of the forest. And sometimes when we come to Stuart, it's hard to see the whole building because we have the first level of the school and then the other layers come under. And all the layers have windows. With the windows, we can see nature.
How is Stuart's connection to nature different from other schools?
Well, this is a modern building, but actually is the first postmodern building in the world because Jean Labatut used that philosophy of modernism to create the building, but he also added the iconography of Catholic faith. So we have the thorns, the crown, the tears of Jesus, the blood, and also in the column at the entrance of the school, we have a statue or design of Jesus with the face, the heart, and his feet.
How do our sacred spaces also connect to the natural world around us?
Well, one important thing is that the windows let us see nature. And for example, the matter window was created on the glass. So we can see outside, we can see inside. But also we have the Zen garden where people can go, meditate, and pray, enjoy the beautiful building. So the whole school has so many spaces that are sacred.
What is your favorite way to connect to nature here at Stuart?
I love the boulders, the things that we have inside the school, the big rocks. It's like we are inside of a beautiful space of nature. And when we go outside to the friendship forest, we also have the creek. So nature is everywhere. And I love that because we can see animals, we can study sciences. We are outside. And architecture is a combination of art and science.
As we wrap up our segment, we want to take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. One of the most powerful messages that resonated with me was the importance of the architectural connection to nature at Stuart.
It really made us think about how John Labatut designed the school's green brick walls to look like the forest.
I hope we have a chance to learn more about John Labatut and his architectural design in the future.
Thanks so much to our interviewee, Mr. Duque, for sharing his story with us. And thank you for listening.
Inspired by a family connection, our next team explored how Stuart has changed over seasons and lifetimes.
Hello and welcome to our podcast. I'm Layla, the director.
And I'm Maya, the sound engineer.
Hi, I'm Esperance, the script writer.
And I'm Amelia, the post-producer. We're all fourth graders at Stuart Country Day School. Today on the podcast, we're looking for answers to our question, how does Stuart change over the seasons? We brought in a special guest to the studio today to help us find some answers.
Thank you for coming. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mrs. Eisenacher. Here I'm a member of Stuart's administration team in the development office.
By the way, the reason this interview is so special is because Mrs. Eisenacher is my mom. How long have you been at Stuart?
Well, I've been working here at Stuart. This is my third school year, but I went to Stuart too as a student. So I was here from 5th grade through 12th grade.
When I tell you the word sustainability at Stuart, what comes to your mind?
What comes to mind is goal 3 is a social awareness that impels to action.
What is your favorite part of Stuart that connects to nature?
It's a place. So I love the Mater window. And I love that when you look through the Mater window, you can see the seasons change, right, through her. So I think that's a truly unique and beautiful place we have here at Stuart that is very unique to Stuart than anywhere else.
Have you noticed any changes at Stuart since you were a student here?
Well, a big one is we didn't have STEM class. That's a big one. So that's a wonderful change. And it connects a lot of the different things you learn in different classes into one place. So having that connection between your classes is hugely important.
What season at Stuart is your favorite and why?
That's a tough one. I think I like the fall. It's the kickoff to the new school year. The weather's still warm in the beginning of the school year. And then as fall approaches and then you move through fall and you're outside in Friendship Forest or down by the stream, you see the leaves change, you feel the air get a little cooler, and it's nice. It's fun. It's the beginning of a new school year.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
That was an amazing interview. Let's summarize our key takeaways. First, we learned that STEM class is a new addition to Stuart.
Second, Mrs. Eisenacher's experience with the Mater window is still something we connect to as students today.
Finally, it's clear that the beauty of the forest and the stream is a meaningful part of Stuart for everyone who learns and works here.
A huge thank you to our guest, Mrs. Eisenacher, for sharing her insight and inspiring us to continue caring for this special community throughout the seasons.
Next, Stuart's very own Director of Sustainability weighs in on our topic.
Welcome to our podcast episode. I'm Amy, the podcast director.
And I'm Elle, the sound engineer.
Hi, I'm Noelle, the script writer.
And I'm Bella, a post-producer.
Hello, I'm Juliana, also a post-producer.
Today, on our podcast, we're investigating the question, how do students at Stuart connect to the wonders of nature?
Our special guest today will help us answer this question.
Hi, our guest today will introduce themselves to our audience.
Hi, I am Mr. Malone. I'm the Director of Facilities and Sustainable Planning here at Stuart Country Day School. I am in charge of pretty much everything that has to do with the buildings, from fixing them and cleaning them to renovations and improvements, and for taking care of the campus as well. And I have been here at Stuart for 10 years.
Do you think John Labatut designed our school in eco-friendly?
I think there's a lot of ways that Jean Labatut designed Stuart in an eco-friendly way. So I think one of the most important ones is how the building weaves into the landscape here. Stuart has a beautiful wooded campus and stream, and the way Jean Labatut designed the building to sort of fit into that landscape so that you get to look out the windows and see the trees and see the stream and just appreciate the outdoors while you're indoors is a really big way that he did that. The floor to ceiling windows, the fact that you really feel like the outside is touchable when you're inside. And another big way that Jean Labatut designed it that way is that he chose materials that last a really long time and don't have much maintenance required. So all of the concrete, all of the green brick, and all of the glass don't really require much maintenance. So in the 60 years that Stuart's been here, it's never had to be painted, or it's never had to have the siding replaced or the windows replaced. So he really designed it to last a long time, which is very eco-friendly.
What were John Labatut's goals for the school?
I believe his first goal for the school was to create a building that really expressed the Sacred Heart and Catholic philosophy in architecture. So when you look around and you see things like the Christ pillar or the stair of physical fitness with what looks like the crown of thorns at the roof, there's different ways in which our school is very, very unique and feels very, very connected to the Catholic and Christian philosophies. Another goal, obviously, was to weave into the landscape and create an environment that was one with nature and took advantage of the unique characteristics of the site. And then I'd say a third one was to create an environment where girls could learn in a very happy and healthy place.
During the school day, how do students connect to the forest and outdoors?
So, as I mentioned, one of the most simple ways is just the fact that all of our windows mean that you can see it from pretty much everywhere you are on campus. So you're always able to look outdoors and see the forest, the trees, the sky, the sunlight, all of those outdoor things that make you feel connected. But then I think it's also really cool that the Friendship Forest and our athletic fields and the pathways that we have through the forest, those are all things that you guys get to play in, or should I say you gals get to play in almost every day. And what makes me really excited to see is when you are in the stream and are looking at the life in the stream and the plants in the stream, or when you are building forts and things like that. I think all of that is unique to Stuart, and that you're really lucky to be able to go to a school where you are connected to the woods and to the stream and to the outdoors the way you are.
How can we keep the school eco-friendly in the future?
That is a great question. And the best way I think that we can keep the school eco-friendly in the future is to all do our little parts to make sure that the things that Stuart does are in themselves eco-friendly. So what are those things? They can be as simple as taking only the amount of food at lunch that you're going to eat so that you don't throw away a lot of food, or they could be using reusable bottles or cups instead of using plastic bottles or throwaway things. They can be making sure that you're putting trash in the trash and recycling in the recycling, and really helping others understand how to do those things. And then I think if you get to ultimately learn about sustainability and the things that are important in sustainability, turning out the lights is another one, right? Or not turning them on if you don't need them. All of these things, when added up, help Stuart make a big difference in terms of sustainability, both today and ultimately in the future, because more and more students will learn that. Therefore, more and more students will do those things, and a bigger impact will occur as a result.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here with you.
Wow, that was really insightful. We encourage all of you to think about what you can do in your own lives too.
Whether it's picking up trash, turning off the lights, or not wasting food like we do here at Stewart, every little action counts. If you're interested in learning more about sustainability at Stewart or want to get involved, visit www.stewartschool.org/about/sustainability. We'll also put the link in the show notes.
Thanks again for listening, and go green!
Thanks again for tuning in to part 1 of the 4th graders Sustainability at Stewart podcast. Special thanks to our interviewees, Andres Duque, Darren Malone, and Alma Eisenacher. Shout out to Hillary Morris and Kristen Zosch for podcast assistance. And thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.